What a hard times we are watching. But what is happening out there is just an invitation for we look to our inner, because only us are able to make the changing that we need to do. If we lose the opportunity to look to ourselves and take care of our pains, our diseases, our weakness, we won't be able to deal with what is coming, what is happening out there. For we be able to be a Jesus disciple, it's necessary we get strong first through the self-knowledge, spiritual education. That is the best way for you, in a fast way, to become powerful, to be a light worker, and be a warrior of God. I started learning all about that and taking care of myself when I was 22 years old. And since that, the most part of my life, thank God, I could make better choices. I could reborn several times in the same life. I could contribute to the people when I was still young. I could publish 4 books. There are 2, but I published them in English version and Portuguese version. And they are valuable for you get straight, faster to your self-knowledge too, for you understand. One of them is this book. Let me mirror. There you go. This is one of the books, Beyond Past Lives. And the another book is this one, Beef Up Your Vitality. Beef Up Your Vitality has 160 pages. In this one, 321 pages. I wish when I was 20 years old, 22 years old, I could have a book like this to guide me through pages, through lines of wisdom. So I wrote that book with the intention to facilitate your life, no matter if you are still young or if you are older. This book is for everybody, professionals, students. Give you a chance to know knowledge that is beyond what is taught at colleges, universities, TV, internet, because the content inside this book, 321 pages, the content here, the wisdom here can heal yourself too, can bring you capability to see the life, to understand about yourself and God in a bigger way. You are going to expand your understanding about everything through the book. We are facing recently constant disturbance at school against the little kids, against the immigrants, against the patriots, against the Christians. The persecutions are going to intensify. We all know that, but we keep resisting and doing nothing, just watching and not getting stronger to be prepared for what is coming, to face the truth. It's not easy to know the truth. How we were misled for millennia. It's not easy. For example, what is coming for the public to know about Charlie Kirk, that fatality, is much more than the media is telling. Everybody is going to know the truth, the real reason he was assassinated. And I just watched a video live from his wife, Erika Kirk, promising to herself that she will continue, promise to him, promise to herself that she will continue his work. And she is extremely capable. Check her curriculum for you see. She got graduation in international relations, political science, and recently she is getting doctorate in, I don't know exactly the name, but it's about be even more strong speaker than she already is. She has strong talent to speak. And I was lucky to be on TikTok when she started a live video a few minutes ago, and I recorded it and I published it here on my profile. But I don't know if she will be continue exactly what he was doing, because recently, in the last months, he was knowing more about the truth, and he got frustrated, and he started talking, and he was silenced. That not was a 22 years boy only that made that. You will know that. You will know the truth. That was a planned assassinate, like any other, like Martin Luther King Jr., President Kennedy, and many others patriots, many others Christians. When they start revealing to the public, the audience of Charlie Kirk was international, not was anymore only in the United States. And recently, in his interviews, in his podcast, in his show, he was starting talking, fixing his speech that he was making before. He was extremely defending Israel, etc., blah, blah, blah. But in the last months, he started facing the truth about the Palestine, about Gaza, about the kids, about Israel, the government, the Zionists. Yeah, that is the reason he was silenced. That is the reason he was assassinated. All the truth, all the proofs you are going to see any moment, because the truth is out there. We are in times of revelation. Everything will be exposed. And like I mentioned in my previous messages, posts, is nothing about political party. More than ever, we have to unite with God, with each other, to reverse that, because it's beyond our force to fix the situation that we are buried for ourselves. But with God, it's possible. If you get united, if you stop the division that they implant in the society, dividing people in different labels, it's time to wake up from this fantasy, this illusion. We are not A or B. We are all. It's time to understand that about the duality is a characteristic that is going to be extinct soon. We are not this or that. We are the whole thing. This is about spiritual knowledge. This is about what you need to invest your time, your precious time, to read, to understand, to get spiritual education that is beyond religions. One excellent step, first step for you to do that is through this book. This is my book, my first book. I have others. Beyond Past Lives, this book are going to open your mind to the truth, and are going to be able to have a critical sense about anything you face in your life. You are going to become strong, powerful to deal with any circumstances about yourself and about your neighbors. The majority of the population are not prepared to face what is happening and what is coming. But we are here to support who are open heart to be helped. We are here, open arms to support everybody through the good word, the true, honest word. I hope you can enjoy my posts here. Read them, make your comments, make your questions. I have a lot to help you. If you are facing any spiritual issues, mental issues, relationship issues, just count on me. Just give me a chance to help you. Make your questions, make your comments, contact me by private message, the way you prefer. You can just write down here. I am medium, therapist, holistic spiritual therapist, spiritual educator. I am sensitive. I have been working in the spiritual education for 17 years. Before, I was graduated as pharmacist 25 years ago, and I love to work in the health area, the health field. But when I started in the first year in the College of Pharmacy, I got very frustrated because I knew already that was extremely superficial and palliative. Not was the best way to help people get back their health. Actually, not was a real way to help people. Was extremely weak and many times aggravate even more people's health through side and collateral effects. So after my graduation, I started running in participating, practicing, reading about the spiritual knowledge, what is not shared anywhere, like colleges, how the education system failed, not was taught in the TV, in cinema, but it's a kind of knowledge that is kind of hiding, that only if you really want, you are going to find where to get the sources for feed your questions, or even what is not questioned yet, because you are not even able to make a question, because it's a completely different universe of knowledge. But thank God, I started my journey when I was 22 years old. I don't know if I was even alive today if I had not started my spiritual journey, my consciousness expansion. And you have to do that. It's your responsibility to do that for yourself, for your family, for your neighbors. It's time. Who didn't start their awakeness, you have a chance now, in a more painful way. Facing loss, facing premature death of the people that we love, or our own life. This book is going to open your mind extremely. I already helped hundreds of people to change their life, to help them reborn. And more recently, I published this book about the carnivore diet. I explain here how to reverse chronic and self-immune diseases, how we were all misled through the fake health system, fake education system in the whole world, and how we can get back our health at home without having to buy any product, any medication. Opposite. When you follow the guidance, you are able to get rid of medication, blood tests, and get your health back. Get your hard copy, get back your health in your life. As a pharmacist, as a holistic wellness coach and spiritual educator, I published those books with my heart, with total responsibility to help others people in a honest way, as I heal myself from Hashimoto thyroiditis, hypothyroidism, pre-diabetes. I was sick when I moved to the United States, eating their comfort food, comfort diet. I became sick in the second year living here. And thank goodness, after 7 years, I was able to know about the content in this book, How to Reverse Chronic and Autoimmune Diseases. I was able to, in 6 months, I reversed the Hashimoto thyroiditis. And in 1 year, I was not taking any more medication for hypothyroidism. At home, eating healthy, just that. And since I got healed about everything and I am healthy, I make a commitment with God to spread the word, to share the way to heal themselves too. How to heal yourself at home, eating healthy. Your meal is your medication is your meal, is what you eat. At least being healthy is more easy to fight. You are necessary, you need to fight. Fight for your life, fight for your meal, for every day. Who watched the live hour ago with the Erica Kirk? Wow, how she's strong, how she's able to make that speech after everything. She's extremely brave, extremely strong, and I hope she make her own work. She's a dedicated mother. She was dedicating her time to raise up her kids. But in the right time, she will come and continue her work. She don't need to continue Charlie Kirk work, because we are all Jesus' disciple, right? And we are going to do that. We just multiply with his death, because he became much more known internationally, because he, even in the United States, he not was so known like he is now, and internationally become even more strong. All his videos is being played over and over, and his videos is awakening many people. People like Charlie Kirk, for me, is a big inspiration. And since he was on the top of the news and the top of the relation with the youth people in the colleges, he had to face all this truth about the world, about the government. And we believe he was silenced. That not was just a 22 years old boy that killed him. You are going to know the truth. But how all those information can be useful to our personal life is a device for you pursue your salvation while you can. Because when things get hard, like financial problems, mental problems, it will be almost impossible you to take care of yourself. And he was extremely committed with Jesus. He understood Mark and the Bible, the last chapter, asking, Jesus was asking the last chapter of the book Mark, for we all spread the gospel and heal the sick people. And he was doing that. He was open-minded of the people, especially the youth. And making videos, making his podcast, his show on the radio, he was open-minded of the adults also, the seniors people, not only youth people. And I'm so glad that when I see videos here on TikTok, I have been watching so many young people open their heart to Jesus, admitting they were atheists, they were agnostic, they were any other thing. But with the knowing about Charlie Kirk and everything, all the news, they decide to start their awakeness, to go to God, to work for Jesus. That is so amazing. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Thank you for that message. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad, because while he was alive, he awaked so many people. He was educating people through Jesus, through the reality. And most recently, he was knowing beyond about the shadow of the world. And he was starting to fix the previous speech, because the people believe he was a extreme defensor of Israel. But no, he was fixing his speech, his words. He was telling, no, I don't defend the Israel government. I defend the Israel as a country where Jesus grew and made history. Amazing. He had a chance before dying to tell the truth. Soon, if you didn't watch those videos, you are going to know. You are going to know by yourself. And because he started telling the truth, that didn't match with the establishment, with the current government and any other, no matter the party, if he's left or right. But because he was starting awakening people about deep information, and he was a powerful influencer, and now even more after his death, the news becomes strong in the whole world, and his words, his videos is awakening even more people. And because of that, he was silenced. That was like we say, he was fired, literally, to don't talk anymore, to don't spread the truth, not only about Jesus. He was being a threat to the current government. You all are going to face, if you didn't understand yet, that no, you were misled about political parties, blah, blah, blah. You were divided about many, many matters, to become weak and easy to be controlled and manipulated by the government, by the industries, by the fake propaganda, by the globalists. But thank goodness, it's time for we get our freedom back. And I remember when he got shot, his two last words was gun and violence. Opposite of what was written in his shirt, freedom. He was, open your mind about that. Open the world heart about the truth. No problem. Maybe if he's still alive, he won't not be able to reach so many millions of people that he is reaching right now, and in the next months and the next years, because his name will never be forgotten. He really gave us a strong, immortal legacies, as like so many great men in the humanity. Wow, such a blessed repercussion, awakening good people, bring people to Jesus. Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Saving their lives, no matter what happened in the world, no matter about political, no matter about anything that divides us, that make us weak. Hi, Kelly Monteiro. Wow. We have been facing so many hard, heavy news, right? Those two problems in the school, little kids losing their lives, innocent people. That immigrant from Ukraine. And in this week, Charlie Kirk. It's not been easy to digest all that. Many people that already was in mental imbalance, they are not processing all this very well. And I work with spiritual tools. I'm able to talk with the spiritual obsessors that affect people in all different ways, like homosexuality, ADD, bipolar, depression, all these diagnostics of mental disorders, mental behavior disorders. Actually, we don't see in this way, like the psychiatry describing and diagnostic, is fundamentally a spiritual imbalance that needs to be treated, and is possible to be treated. It's possible to be educated. Then in my work, what I do essentially, that I share on this book right here, I work with a technique called the psychic captation, and we are able to go straight to those past lives from our clients and talk directly with them, our past lives. I talk with their past personalities that are creating conflicts, diseases, problems in the current life. Because when we die, we lose only the flesh and the bones, the physical body. The soul is a fractal. It is eternal. And the way you die is the way you continue in the spiritual dimension, thinking the same way. Then, when you have a chance in the spiritual dimension, one of your past personalities have a chance to be educated, know what really happened in that time, then when the light comes, when the clarification comes, they understand what really happened, then the forgiveness happens. Then all the understanding, all the comprehension happens. And we simply can bring that soul that is part of our spirit. Our spirit is compounded by many souls, many lives we lived before in our previous lives. And now them are alive. Some are in good state, in the light, some are in the darkness. And it's exactly with the ones that are in the darkness that I am able to talk directly, have a dialogue with them. We work with in two, me as therapist and a co-therapist, a sensitive. And we make all the investigation, clarification, and healing. All the transcript about what was treated, I send by mail in confidential. And then when the client, you read the transcript, you are going to understand what was affecting you in the current life. Sometimes come spiritual obsessors, but the main reason of the problems in the current life is your own past personalities that cause auto-obsessions. I work with this for more than 20 years. As a professional, for 17 years, I published this book explaining all details about the technique. You don't need to remember your past lives by yourself. We can do that for you in a more efficient way. Because when we do that for you, we don't have the filter of your mind afraid to remember painful situations, traumatic situations. Then when we do that for you, we go much more deep in your iceberg, in your spiritual data. What I talk about, you don't see on internet, you don't see on TV, propaganda. It's a very hidden way to heal. It's for few people. You know, if you are facing homosexuality problems, all this is spiritual obsessions from yourself, and especially in this case, external. Unfortunately, our dear Earth have been controlled by the darkness. But above all that, we have God, in the command of everything. We don't need to learn through the pain. We just have to open our mind to know about yourselves. Why you are facing LGBT situation? Why you think you are gay? Why you are facing ADD, depression, bipolar, any other mental diagnostic, behavior or mental disorder. If you understand the causes of it, you might have a real choice between continue being that way or having a different life, a normal life. It's not about choice, but you have been choosing options that is not your true choices. You are just manipulated and being spiritual possessed. You don't believe how ugly is the dark side that commanded the LGBT, that made kids, teenagers starting believing in wrong beliefs. You can't imagine how ugly is this controlling. But it's possible to reverse that totally. It's possible to reverse, but you have to open your mind, go beyond religion, because religion is also another matter that is going to be revealed much more than already have been. Religion causes fear, limitation, don't let you know truly about yourself. Don't let you empower yourself to heal yourself. This is a kind of knowledge very new in America. In Brazil, from where I am from, this is common. Everybody knows, and everybody is free to choose what they want to do to take care of themselves. And I was very blessed to know all that and become a professional in this field. I'm able to talk directly with spirit. They are like any other person. I'm able to talk with any possessor, spiritual possessor. They are like any other person alive, lost from the love. In some point one of their previous lives, they got lost from the love. They were banned, they were aborted, they suffered, they were prejudiced by some of us, and they come to our current life to cause revenge. They just need to be healed, clarified, for you don't develop diseases and conflicts and premature death in the current life. You don't have to ask God to be killed by a gun, a fire, to pay your sin, to have killed some people, many people in your previous lives. You don't need to do that. You are very important if you keep alive. And what I'm telling now is extremely serious and deep. Besides all the truth you are going to know on the internet around Charles Kirk, he died 31 years old in that way because he was making a compensation of his sin in his previous lives. He died the same way he killed others. He just wants to die that way to make receive the forgiving from God, but you don't need to do that. When you reborn for a new life, you already are forgiven. You are going to face the consequences of your sins, for sure. Through conflicts, through disharmonies, diseases, many things. But if you already start your spiritual awakeness, you already start and continue your studies, your consciousness expansion, why you have to die prematurely? You are important. You already became a light worker. You can't keep that idea to die prematurely. No. It's not smart to think like that. And many of us ask before we was born to pay our sins that way, die in a similar way that we damage, destroy the life of others in our previous lives. It's not smart that. That is not love. You can ask God to give you long life, being useful to Him, which is being useful to our neighbors, to spread the gospel, to heal the sick people. Is what is there in book Mark in the Bible. The last chapter is that before Jesus ascended to the heaven after his resurrection, he asked that. He asked the disciples, he asked all of us too. Because in the old Bible is written, all of us are disciples of Jesus. That's correct? We already know how important we are, and as much people we help them to awake, they become a light worker too, and we become a warriors of God, warriors of Jesus. We amplify the number of people that are able to support others.